Good evening, peeps. I'm Ariel Grace, and welcome to a spiritual show. We have an awesome guest tonight, and as you all are gathering, I've got some stuff to talk about first before we introduce her. She's really cool. I really like her name's Gwen, and she's like up front, none of this pretty language stuff that we don't understand. Okay. So
Oh
I did
no.
want to I did want to say this week, Angels, a psychic story, is on sale for as a Kindle version for 99 cents. Go get it. A bunch of you have been like, "Oh, it's a Kindle, it's a Kindle book sale, 99 cents." Or if you have Kindle Unlimited, you can download it onto your iPad or your phone. Okay, so check that out. The other thing too is I see y'all coming on in. Facebook is being weird, so you're gonna have to go. You're gonna have to go to YouTube, or you're gonna have to go over to my personal page, which is Practical Psychic. So it's Facebook/Practical Psychic. I've left the link in lots of places, so that way we can see that. Hey, Penny. Hey, Jacqueline. All right. So go get Angels of Psychic story. Okay. And there's going to be some more books coming up too that are going to be on sale in May. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, in case you missed the astrology show on April 19th and April 20th, so far, that is the luckiest day. Those are the luckiest days of the year. All right. Go buy your lottery tickets. I'm telling you right now. I want somebody to text me and tell me they won the lottery on those days. Okay? Because Kendra did her astrology thing and she said it during the astrology show. And I wanted to make sure because today's the 14th. So on the 19th and the 20th, those 2 days, buy your lottery tickets. Okay? I'm buying 2. So, yay. All right. Hey, Mom. All right. So we're going to talk to Gwen tonight. Gwen wrote an awesome book. It's called Insights and Illuminations. It is a Kindle book and it is a paperback book. You can get it on Amazon. I've read it. It's good. You guys will like it. Okay. The reason why I liked it is because, and I know Gwen's sitting right here. So this is Gwen, everybody. You can check out her Insights and Illumination website at insightsandillumination.com. Okay? Now, this book is really good. It's not a really long book, and I know y'all like those kinds of books that are straight to the point, give good advice, and it's advice that you can actually use. And there's not a lot of this crazy language that we don't know what the heck they're talking about. Remember, we've read some books like that. Hey, Maureen. All right. So this is Gwen, everybody. Say hi to her. And let me know if you get her book, too. And remember, all books that you buy on Amazon, please do a review. They help all of the authors so much with your reviews. You can do the 5-star thing. Hey, Rebecca. You can do the 5-star thing, or you can write a review, whichever you want to do, but make sure it's 5 stars, okay? All right, so her book is called Insights and Illuminations. All right. Okay, so we're going to start this. Now, Gwen does another thing too, and we're going to talk about that too. We're going to talk about her other thing too, but I want to ask you, okay, so a lot of the peeps after COVID and even now are just, some of us are having a hard time with just like being and getting over stuff and working. Thanks, Rebecca. Working, getting new jobs. You know, a lot of people lost their jobs during COVID. They had to restart, refresh, reinvigorate. So, and a lot of people have asked me, well, how can I get some peace and happiness during this time? Because everybody's still acclimating. You know, this is going to take a while for people to acclimate back to, not like back to where we were, but more like right now. You know, so like I have clients right now that, um, you know, they're still looking for jobs, better jobs, starting a business. They have children, they have all kinds of different craziness going on. And so, how can we achieve happiness playing the game of life? Because that's one of the cool things about Gwen's book. She talks a lot about playing. Yes.
You ready?
Right?
First, thank you for having me, and thank you for the 5-star review. I'll say when I saw the review, I was like, "Oh, Ariel got my book and she read it." Oh, and then the
Yes.
email came in saying, that to be on the show, and I was like, "Oh, all right, that sounds fun."
Only
Hopefully,
fun people come on the show.
well, I hope I am fun. I've heard the book is funny.
It
And,
is.
and when I was done, and people were saying it's really humorous, I'm like, was it meant to be? Yeah, I guess it was meant to be humorous.
Well,
um,
yeah.
because I just have kind of an interesting relationship with spirit. They just kind of plunked on me, and yeah, coming out of COVID, it was kind of a reset for a lot of people, I think, because it caused everybody to just shut things down and then start back up and add in the things you wanted to add in. A lot of people wanted to go back to the way it was, but I saw, the whole COVID experience as an opportunity to really clear the slate and kind of come at life at a little bit different place. And in the midst of all that, Spirit had kind of nudged me along in writing the book, Insights and Illuminations. And it's 3 parts. And the first part is written like the directions to a game. All
It
right.
is.
It's written like the directions to a game, so that you can kind of get that perspective. Because I think, the way we're raised with the world coming at us, and we're constantly putting out fires or trying to manipulate what's happening, as opposed to really getting in a place where we're understanding we're the ones
Yeah.
playing the game, and it's our moves that are making the things happen. And so the directions, I think, to the game of life are about regaining that power, if you will, shifting that perspective. And, your soul came here to play. I guess that's the key thing that I found, because there's a lot going on in the book. Okay. It's coming from so many different directions. It's consciously channeled. So there's a layer of spirit imparting their information. And then there's, like, I don't know if you caught on the little gray bubbles, which are me going, "Hey, wait a minute," and
Wait a minute. I know.
kind
Yeah,
of
I did.
commenting on what's going on. And it all kind of spins off of an event that happened early on, about 20, 30 years ago, where Spirit presented to me. And back then I was just a regular Joe. I was just Gwen Schmo out there working every day and not happy and wanting to know, how could I be happy? And then an event happened where they just kind of exploded in my brain saying it's a game, and spending, these last 20, 30 years trying to figure out what that all what was that? And what does that mean? And all that kind of crazy stuff. And so, nuts and bolts, our souls came here to play. They don't. I know there's a lot of teachers out there that you're here to learn lessons. You're here to heal your soul. You're here to do this. But if you figure your soul is part of the God energy, does God energy really need healing? No. It's healed. It's all set. It's about us aligning with our soul aspect and playing the game with it. I think in the book, I try to get you into the role of, the movie Avatar, you
Yes.
know,
I like
kind of
That's one of my favorite movies.
mine
It
too,
is. I saw it at IMAX in Chicago, and when it first comes on and the flowers are coming down, I actually put my hands up
Aw.
because the flat you could see the flowers looked like they were coming down around us at the IMAX, and I was just like, "Oh my god, this can be an awesome movie." So
You're giving me goosebumps.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yep, yep. Yeah, so it's like that, your soul's coming in. It already knows what the life experience is gonna be. It
mhm,
knows all of what's gonna go on. I mean, nothing's a surprise. Yeah, we have free will, but overall, our soul has a pretty good idea of how this plays out, right? And if we play it with our soul, as again, trying to get in that perspective of your soul coming into a body that has a mind, it'd be like getting in a car that automatically does everything.
everything
And you're
clicks.
kind of like, no, no, I really wanted to go this way. No, no, we really want to do that. No, no, you don't want to do that. So your soul's trying to navigate your physical body, the mind, which is, if you pay any attention to your mind, it's just a renegade, right? It does its own thing and doesn't
It's
listen to anybody. And your mind and your soul's like, there's times I'm sure my soul goes, this is a little harder than I thought. Because this Gwen Peterson, she don't listen. So I think your question is how do you find happiness? Happiness is don't try so hard, kind of back off. And, there's a few things you can do. And I talk about in the book where you can find an alignment with your soul and kind of start coming from your soul's perspective. It's going to make life a whole lot easier. And your soul is, unconditional love, peace, joy. And that's what you're going to bring into this world is, a whole lot of happiness if you can go there with it. And I've seen just amazing things when you operate from that place. And I'm sure you have too, just downright miracles happening where you're just like, whoa, did you just see that? And everybody looks at you like, I don't know what you're talking about. And you're like, oh, you missed a good one.
Well, that's why I'm always talking about being present. Like, be present. Just be present.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't really fully understand what that means,
So
because their mind's always in the past and future.
it's always like spinning. It took me a long time to really practice that. I mean, really, I would really have to go stop. What are we doing right now? That was always my question. What are we doing right now?
Yep.
What is it? Because my brain was always spinning. And now that I find that I'm more present, I'm calm. I'm
Right?
not like, uh, I don't get really wound up a lot. I don't. And there's clarity, right? If there
Yeah.
isn't clarity, it's easy for me to get to a place of clarity. So,
Yeah. Well
yeah.
said.
Yeah. No, well, I
Yeah.
mean, hey, I've been practicing this, so really, like, thoughtfully practicing it, since my 30s, and I'm
Okay.
gonna be I don't know how old I'm gonna be. My
Gonna be
mom
29 again, right?
I'm going to be 29 again. That's right.
You're going backwards.
Okay, so now we were going to talk about presence in a minute, but I just wanted to throw that out there. But all right, so you're talking about alignment when you're talking about mind and soul, right? You're talking about lining them up.
Yeah, well, quieting your mind, getting your mind so that it's not running the show, and listening to that, your soul connection, your heart, getting in that space, in that alignment,
Mhm.
when you're mindful, or, there's lots of words we all use for that, but you get in that space in your soul
Uh,
and you can feel it, because it's the peace, love, and joy that we crave, right? And taking time to quiet the mind, get in that space, and find that alignment. You say alignment, but really, once you're in a good feeling place, that's the alignment. The alignment is feeling good.
yeah,
Once you're there, there's not much more you have to do. Just listen.
right. So, because I have found, and I've asked, I'm always saying to people, be present, listen to your heart, and just move from that. Because when you do that, then you have the ability to navigate through, play the game. Hey,
Right?
Iris, you found us. Rock on. All right. All right. So, because I
Yep.
know I had an issue last week. I think it was last week. I had an issue last week, and the first thing I did was like try to strategize. My brain went and everything.
Mhm.
And so, and then like it was like, wait, what? Get back in your body, like get present. What do you want to do? What is in your heart? What do you want to do? Those are the questions that I asked. And suddenly I was just like, oh, okay. I don't have to stress over this. This isn't mine to stress over. There you go.
Bing, bing, bing. Bonus points.
Right. Right. Yeah. All right. So for those of you that are just joining right now, this is Gwen. Gwen rocks.
Oh,
Everybody needs to go over to her Facebook page and like it. Okay. It's Insights and Illumination. That's what it's called. All right.
Illuminations. There's an S on the end.
Illuminations.
Yeah.
And the book is Insights and Illuminations. And you can find her book on Amazon. It is a Kindle book and it is a paperback book. So both things. All right. And you can go over there and order it. It is a great book. It's not a big, huge book. It's probably about as thick as the Angels book.
I
And
don't know
it's
why.
really good. So, and you can check out her website at insightsandilluminations.com because there's fun things on her website. And she also does like this other thing, like my psychic tip. She does like her own intuitive tip. And she does them like you do them like once or twice a week, right?
Once a week, I post an intuitive tip. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's intuitive tips inside the book,
Inside the
too. The
book.
second part. Yep.
Mm-hmm. So go check out her Facebook page, y'all. Like her. She's also on Instagram for you Instagram people. So check her out on Instagram. Follow her. That way you can see her posts. You can see her videos and stuff. And you never know. Something might click in. And that will help you so much. That's why we do this. That's why we do this show. So that to help you. Yeah.
I should.
All right.
Hey, Misty, want to do me a favor? Go to my bedroom, and in the box that I have in there, grab a book. I don't know why I didn't grab a book before we did this.
I almost forgot to grab the Angels book because I was getting ready and stuff. So
It's amazing I sell any of them. So where's your book, Gwen? In the trunk of my car.
I know, yeah, you open the back and you're like, "Oh," but that's why I always say, "Just go to Amazon. If I ever see you, you can s I'll sign it for you." So, that's what I tell
Nice,
people.
nice. Yeah, and same with me. If,
Mhm.
I'm at a fair or something, yeah, I'll sign it.
Bring a book.
But yeah, thank you for all that. And I do have a YouTube channel too. I have my meditations and stuff there as well as the intuitive tips and such. So, yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah,
we're gonna this is something that Gwen, explains in her book, and I've also heard her talk about this, like, on her intuitive tip videos as well, um, because we're talking about presence, and one of the ways to assist you
thanks.
is journaling and meditation. So, I mean, what's your advice on the whole journaling thing? Because everybody journals differently,
Right.
right?
And they meditate different too.
Mhm,
And both meditation and journaling, both are, they're fundamental, they're the foundation of your spiritual practice.
mhm,
And I think, and there's different ones, and there's reasons there's different ones because it's like yoga. Every day you come to the mat, you're coming from a different place. So, like one pose you could have done yesterday without any, and the
the
next
next day
day
you're
you're
like,
falling
"Slow
down, and
down."
right? So it's like that. So if you look at your meditation and journaling practice, that it's going to be different every day because you're in a different spot every day. But the idea behind both of them is to learn to focus, to shut down your mind and quiet it, I guess, because a lot of people, and even quieting, I hate saying that because everybody goes off on the wrong tangent with it,
Right,
because
you
it's
do.
more of becoming the observer,
Yep,
observing what's going on. Is your mind active? If your mind's active, and I tell people if you can't meditate because you have an active mind, and I get that, that's how I started out with being a multitasker and not being able to sit for 2 minutes without my brain going, what are you doing? Why are
right.
you sitting here? We could be getting so much done.
Yep,
But I found that if I started to journal too, when I had to quiet, when my mind was running wild, I would just journal it. Like if my mind was giving me a laundry list of things to do, I would just write it in my journal and go, okay, that I'll take care of it after meditation, but we're going to sit here for 10 minutes. Or I would just listen to what it would say and write it all out because our mind just wants to be heard.
right.
Right. And once it gets that full thought out there, it's done. It's usually quiet after that.
Mhm,
So a lot of times, when people say they just can't meditate because, well, that's part of the practice. That is meditation. Meditation is sitting there one on one with yourself. Because if you really think about it, between meditation and journaling, if you go through the course of your day, at what point do you allow yourself to really hear what's going on in your head at all times? I mean, it's just running and running and running. And we're usually shutting half those thoughts down. They get halfway through, we shut them down. So they're just sitting there on a low boil. And it just causes a mess. But when you take that 10 minutes in the morning and in the evening to just sit quietly and go, okay, how am I feeling? What's going on up here? And if it's everything's good, then you just sit in that really good place because that's that alignment we talked about, right?
right.
You're being present, you're in that alignment. But if you sit down and you're like, man, so and so's just got me all in a bunch, then you sit down and you journal it out, hear what your mind has to say about it, and then you sit quietly and let yourself kind of vibe back into a good place with it. And it's a journey. It takes time to really come to terms with it because our mind's on autopilot, right? And it just runs the show. It's just and and when you sit down to meditate, it's going, no, no, no. It doesn't want to give up any of the real estate, right? It's like,
Right.
no, I'm in control. I don't know who you're listening to, but it isn't me. And we can't sit here and do that. And you're like, you have to start treating your mind like a 3-year-old. And you're like, no, you're going to sit quietly for 10 minutes. You can do this.
Right.
Come on. Here's a sucker. Go sit in the corner and lick on the sucker while I sit here quietly and feel good.
Right. Well, and I think too, if we start writing it out, if we start writing out the stuff, it's like it unburdens us
Mhm.
so that we don't spin,
Exactly. Exactly.
you know.
Because that's what it's doing all day is just spinning around until you sit down and really listen to what's going on in your head and hear the full thought. Because again, we usually shut it off halfway. And there's been time when I first started, I started writing out what I was hearing in my head, what was popping up. I'd be like, oh my gosh, that's from, like, when you were 5 years old. Are you kidding me? You are still talking about you're still hanging on to the playground at 5 years old? Are you out of your mind?
Right.
But
It's
but
taken
at
up
the
so much
same time
space.
but and once you kind of address it and you see that, well, this isn't even a thing anymore, then
Mhm.
it's like, "Oh, okay." And it moves on to the next thing it wants to regurgitate, you know?
Right.
So, yeah.
If once we get the regurgitation going, get it moving. Hey, Justin. So once we get that regurgitation, that that written stuff, and I found too is like through like writing things down every day or every other day, um, is that it's easier for me to focus and prioritize because if we just give it a little attention, we give it attention just like a small child. We give them attention, we give them love.
Mhm.
They're like, oh, and the mind is like that too, and then the mind wants it. It wants to journal because
Right.
it's getting that attention.
Yep.
Hey, Miss Penny.
Yep.
So
Well said.
yeah, I think that. But in your book, the way you explain it, again, it's and you make it, although the tone, there's seriousness in it. It is also light and fun. It's like, do this, try it.
Right.
You know.
I it's a consciously channeled book, okay? And so it definitely has an energetic current that runs through it. And I'll tell you what, when you're writing, and you know this, when you're writing a book, you read that thing like a million times before it actually goes to print, right? And it was funny. I would be like, oh, I probably should read this again. And I'd sit down and I'd start reading it. Next thing I know, I'd have the Kleenex out. Like, or I something would just like make my heart sing. And I'm like, who wrote that? That must the angels and guides were definitely, because there are parts I don't even remember writing.
Right.
And it's not the kind of book too, I want to point out that you read cover to cover. It's something that you're going to take a piece of, you're going to sit, kind of let it ruminate a little bit and then move on. It has like worksheet spaces in there to actually work with it. There's a lot going on in the book.
There is a lot going on in the now. Okay, so why did you write the book?
And I've got
What?
it.
Oh, there it is.
There it
See,
is.
see, everyone, look. There is the book.
This is
Insight.
what it looks like if you're a visual person.
That's what it looks like. You
And
can
it's
get
not
it on.
very thick.
Yeah, get it on Amazon. Because I read it. I read it in a couple of nights, and then I went back and read it over a week to make sure that um, it really clicked in what she's saying. And these are all of the things that Gwen talks about in Insights and Illuminations is things that we talk about on this show because a lot of people want spirituality to be really complicated and hard, but it's not.
No.
And if we break it down and really just and really think about it, our soul is not complicated. We
No.
just we make it hard. We make it hard to connect. We make it hard to connect to our peeps, our spirit guides and angels. We make it hard to connect to Creator, and that's why I look for authors like Gwen to assist you with your journey, so that you don't have it doesn't have to be complicated.
Yeah, I think too, I think with spirituality, a lot of people think it's a one and done thing, that they just, check it off the checklist of things. Okay, I meditated this morning. Now I'm off to go do whatever. Where instead of taking that good feeling place you found in your got that alignment going and taking into your day and just really being consciously aware when you're leaving that space. And it's not a one and done thing. And I think that's the thing with a lot of books that are um, written by people who are connected in that way, is because spirituality has a depth to it that just constantly goes, it's infinite. I mean, think of where the source is. The source is infinite. So why wouldn't the messages coming from the archangels, the ascended masters, your soul, why wouldn't that be infinite as well? So there's always a depth to it. And so even if you're feeling really good, you're like, oh, this is a really good spot. Guess what? You can get any even deeper good feeling spot. It just you can keep going into that space. And the book, I think, is written that way too, because it starts out with the directions to the game. The middle part are aha moments, which kind of lock you into a little bit deeper thought process of the rules, because it's new. I'm giving you new rules. Not only are you looking at your life from as a game and playing it as your soul sees it, but you're getting a new set of rules to play by too. And you kind of touched on it, where you said that something happened and your mind immediately went to, how do I do this? How did this? And that's one of the aha moments.
Yep.
Stop trying to figure it out, just take the how out of the picture, and it makes a big difference. And then the third part is goes even deeper still, because that gets into the soul work, the real integrating on a soul level, which it's probably not everybody's forte. Not all souls are here to get be light workers, but for those for those whose soul won't let them alone and keeps going, we've got things to do.
Hey, 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 hey.
Let's get going here. Come on.
Wait, I haven't had my coffee yet. Wait.
As I look at your table back there with all the books on it, it's like, yeah, you keep getting tapped on the shoulder all the time. I can tell.
I do. I do. Mercury in retrograde is actually the best time for me to write, and right now I'm finishing a book, or 40% through.
Nice,
So,
nice.
but yeah, Mercury in retrograde works for me for writing. I just love to write during Mercury in retrograde. Everything flows so nicely, you know. So
Right.
everything kind of just slows down, and it
Yeah,
just like,
yeah,
oh, okay, I can do that.
yeah. I hear
Bravo,
you.
Penny. I'm glad that you're writing and prioritizing, because journaling can help with that. Journaling can really help with it, because it helps you stop and really pay attention to what you truly want, and how to connect. And writing it all down really just clarifies things. And you may go in, and every day it might be different, but that's okay. It is. Okay,
Right.
so Rebecca is reminding me. She's reminding me on YouTube. She's like, "Thank you, Rebecca. Remember, wherever you're at, whether you're going to be on YouTube, Facebook, or you're re-listening on Instagram, please make sure to like, follow, subscribe, whatever it is that you're doing on any of those ones. I also, and on LinkedIn as well, because this will go up on LinkedIn. But make sure to do that for us, because when you do that, it helps the video. It helps the algorithm gods make up their mind they want to show off your video. So help us out, too, and that way, Gwen's book gets out there too, because I feel like if you can do it, if you can order her book from Amazon, it would be a really cool thing. I feel like you guys will all enjoy this book. Not not just like you're going to be learning stuff. You're going to have those aha moments, but you're really going to enjoy it. You know, I thought there were moments in that book when I was reading it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, mm-hmm, yep." Like she said, the second part of the book is the aha moment book, and part of the book, and you'll have your aha moments. I did. I was laughing through most of it, but not because it's funny, but because yeah, it's funny.
They're funny. It's those V8 moments,
Right?
"Oh, I could have had a V8."
So I do want y'all to go check it out. And remember to check out her website. It's running across the banner here, Insights and Illuminations.com, because she does a
There
lot with that site.
there's an S on the end of Illuminations.
Yeah. I'm saying it. I don't know if you can hear it. Illuminations,
Yeah.
Insights
It's
and
just the one on the banner, it's missing the S. So,
in,
just in case they get there and they're like, "Hey, wait, nothing's coming up."
hold on. That's what's cool about StreamYard is I can like
You can fix
over
it?
here. Maybe. Oh, there it goes. Okay, hold on. There it is. All right. Save it.
I see NR up there. I'm wondering if that's, um, one of one of the folks that comes to a lot of the classes that I do through Insights Illuminations and also through Spiritual Communities Network. I'm
Okay.
wondering if it is. Hi, thanks for following me over here. I hope you're enjoying Ariel's show and her little kitty ears and her topic and
Now, for the last couple minutes of the show, please talk about Spiritual Communities Network. Why did you start it? And how does it serve the
okay,
people?
that, I started the show by explaining that, I kind of came into this butt backwards, okay? I was asking a lot of questions and all of a sudden spirit's like, "Okay, you asked, here's all the answers." And so one of the things as I was trying to sort spirituality and what that is, I kept getting nudges to do different things like a newsletter, a meetup group, and little pieces started coming together. And then all of a sudden in 2011, in the spring, I during meditation, I heard, "We want you to anchor in a spiritual community consciousness." And I was like, "What the heck is that?" I'm like,
Right?
what the heck is spiritual community consciousness? I don't even, this is still early on for me. I'm like, I don't know what that is. And they were like, "That's all right. Just take the couple things I had." And I think it was just meet up in a newsletter. I think that's all there was. And they're like, "We want you to anchor it in on 11/11/11. We want you to, do like a pub crawl where you're going to let people get to see what the spiritual community looks like." And I was like, "All right." And I'm like, I was getting ready to file it on the back burner when a woman showed up at one of my classes and said, "I just moved here from," I think it was Iowa. She's like, "I just moved here from Iowa because Spirit told me that you needed help anchoring a spiritual community consciousness thing." And I was like, "What? Who does that?" I'm like, "You
Love
moved to Naples, Florida from Iowa because spirit told you to?" And she's like,
Yeah.
"Yeah."
Yeah.
So we had like 4 locations that I was aware of that I thought would be agreeable to doing it in Naples. And by the time it rolled around, we had 14 locations that wanted to offer their space just open the doors, let people come in, do classes, get free things, and just really explore in a safe environment what spirituality was, because I think a lot of people had preconceived notions of what,
Yeah, they always do.
it is, um, so we did that, and it was a huge success. I mean, I still don't even know how everybody heard about it, but we had just hundreds of people. And I still, to this day, I'll have people come up to me and go, I was at the 11/11 kickoff for Spiritual Community.
That's so
And it
cool.
was Spiritual Community of Naples at the time. The next year, places in Fort Myers were like, we want to be part of it. Then it was, Cape Coral. It just kind of worked its way. And then all of a sudden, people from across the country and in other countries started wanting to be part of it. And I was just like, okay. So I had at one point renamed it to Spiritual Communities Network so that people understood it. So we have a lot of people who follow us for our teachers, because we have a handful of teachers, or more than a handful. We have teachers who teach different modalities, different takes on spirituality, because we're
Mhm.
all teaching the same thing, but everybody's got their own little perspective on it, and it'll resonate with who it needs to resonate with. So we have a lot of people that do that. And so one of our popular things, and that's where I think NR comes in, is we do a monthly community classroom where we feature one of our teachers. They do a half-hour class, and it's just an opportunity to learn something new, ask questions, maybe discover a new teacher, whatever have you. So that's what that is.
And the monthly classroom is online, right?
It is online. Everything Spiritual Communities Network itself does is online. Our teachers, you would want to follow up with them individually, because some do in person, in whatever, in person type stuff. Others do online classes.
Mhm.
Spirituality is, something that can be done distance work. So yeah. But the community classroom is online. And if you visit Spiritual Communities Network's YouTube channel, they're the ones that could be recorded are recorded there.
Okay, cool. So y'all know that Spiritual Communities YouTube channel, right?
Mhm.
Check that out. If you're over on YouTube, go over there and see if it resonates with you. Remember to subscribe to these pages so that you get notifications when they're putting up a new video or when they're going live. That way you don't miss anything.
Yep.
Okay. And for those of you who are out there that are spiritual people, that are teachers, that are, working towards that end, check out Spiritual Community Network. You can check it out on Facebook, and you can also check it out on Instagram as well. See if it resonates with you. See if you
Right.
join the network, because
Yep.
this network is actually very busy.
Yeah, it has a nominal yearly fee to it. I mean, and it's nominal. And not only will you have an opportunity to present your work to the people who follow us, but you'll also I business coach too. So yeah, I'm going to help you if you're like, oh, I want to be online, but I don't know how to do that, or I want to be able to, do emails, but I don't know how to do that either. I have had to do all that. So I know it, and I'm always happy to help our members to achieve. Because you know what? You're here to do, reach people. You're a light worker. You're here to reach people. Spirit created this avenue for everybody to kind of come together and learn together, right?
Yeah,
And hopefully take away that life is it's fun. It's meant to be fun, and there is a way to get yourself in a place where even, and I don't want to give the impression that once I think sometimes people think that, oh, I'm spiritual. Oh, the world's perfect. No bad things will happen. No, things happen, life happens, but it's a thing of where you're in a position with it, because there's a way to excuse me, and I'm gonna use your name there. There's a way to move through it with grace,
yes.
okay? Where, it's happening, but you don't have to embody it. Oh,
Right.
Got that soul energy coming through.
Exactly. Exactly. That's so cool. Hmm.
Yeah, because, your soul came here for experiences. Some of them came for some big experiences, and you can go through those, but you don't have to, um, be beat up by them either.
Right. Stop
Your
being hard
soul
on yourself, peeps.
Yeah, your soul navigates you right through it. Can I tell a quick story?
Sure.
It's one of my intuitive tips too.
All right.
It's back a few nights ago, I like popcorn and I love lots of butter on my popcorn. So I did my popcorn, I put some butter on, and I'm looking at it going, I think I need some more butter on this. And I can hear my soul saying, "No, no, you don't need any." Just saying, "No, no, don't do more butter."
Right.
They because they really don't. It's not a big conversation, right? It's
Nope.
usually no,
Right.
and no,
Yes.
don't do that. And and I
Stop.
was kind of I'm like, no, free will. I want more butter. So I take my butter and put it in the microwave, heat it up. I go to pour it and it slips out of my hand and I burn myself with the hot butter. And I'm like, oh crap. Now, see, most people would say, oh, see, you got punished. No, it wasn't a punishment thing. It was my soul saying, you don't want to do that because you're going to get burned. You're going to, you're going to dump butter all over yourself. No, no. I know Gwen knows better, soul, spirit, God, you guys don't know anything.
Right.
What do you
Me
guys
do
know?
it anyway.
What do you guys know about this world?
Right. All right, y'all. Well, I hope you enjoyed Gwen. I think I'm going to have her come on again because I know she has more things that she might be able to help us with. So, and I really want you guys to go check her out. You can check her out on Facebook. You can check her out on Instagram and YouTube. I have links in the show notes, like in the description box below, and you can click on the links to her website and that. Check her out. Remember, her book is called Insights and Illuminations, and you can get it on Amazon. All right. It's a great book. There it is. See, she's holding it up for you. All right. Okay.
You again. Thank you so much. Everybody, thank you for listening. Ariel, thank you so much for having me. This was just such a pleasant way to wrap up my Sunday evening, and you've just been a blessing. And I thank you. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. All right, y'all. Well, have a wonderful week.
You too.
And remember, keep your heart open and align with the energy of love. And we'll see you next week. Bye.